This video, it kind of piggybacks off of the last video that I made with regard to 1990s cars and cars that are built currently in the 2020s and which are better, the 90s cars or the cars that are more modern. And in my biased opinion, I'd say that the 90s cars are better, not only because I have one, but because I've worked on them and they're just better overall in my opinion. There's just less stuff to go wrong with them. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to show some cars that were built in the 1990s and they have stood the test of time and they still hold up to this day. And I found actually a pretty decent article, I think, that covers this. This is on topspeed.com, and the title of this article is 10 Used Cars from the 1990s That Have Rock Solid Reliability. Most of these cars I agree with. There was at least one that I can think of that didn't make the list that I think should have made the list. Actually, matter of fact, there's a few ones actually that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'll go through this list and I will show a couple of different examples of cars that are for sale today that are on this list that are available for sale, just so you can get an idea as to how much they're costing these days. They have gone up a bit in the last few years. I think a lot of the reason is because new cars are just so damn expensive. They're like 45, 50,000, 70, 80,000. They're just insane prices today. And a lot of people, they're either defaulting on their loans or they've traded in vehicle after vehicle and now they've got crazy negative equity, which means that they traded in a car that they were paying on. They didn't finish paying it off. They still owed more than the car was worth when they traded it in. So the dealership, they took the amount of money that they still owed on the car and they applied it to the new car that they now have. So basically they buy a car for, let's say, $40,000, but they were still $20,000 upside down on the car that they're trading in. So the dealership just tacks on an extra $20,000 onto their current loan. Now they owe $60,000 on a $40,000 car. It is absolutely insane. I cannot believe that people are actually doing this and they're not just fulfilling their end of the bargain and just paying off the car that you have right now. I mean, you locked yourself in for 60 months, 72 months, and even in some cases these days, 84 months. I think there's even some places that will give you a 96-month loan, which is absolutely crazy to me. I cannot believe that people are actually doing that. So these older cars from the 90s, they're starting to go up in value because they'll either default on their current loan and they'll get their car repossessed, and now they don't have a car, so they have to resort to finding a car that they have money to buy in the here and now, which is going to be an old clunker or a cash car or whatever you want to call it. And these older cars, they're higher and higher in demand these days for this reason. People can't afford anything anymore because inflation's going up, in other things like insurance and food, just general cost of living. It's just getting absolutely crazy. I mean, I actually just heard the other day that Wendy's is in so much trouble that it's possible they might actually end up having to file for bankruptcy. I'm like, what? Wendy's? Holy crap. So, same with McDonald's. I mean, look, I was doing DoorDash, not doing DoorDash. I was ordering DoorDash like back in probably 2021, 2022. Not on a very regular basis. I'd say like at the peak, maybe once a week. And back then I was able to order from Wendy's. I would get the Baconator by itself. It was like $10.05, which is still crazy for a sandwich because they upcharge everything on DoorDash. If you get it on DoorDash, it's going to cost like $2, $3 more than if you just went there and ordered directly from the menu. So I don't know, in total, it was probably like $16, $17, and that's with the tip. But now it's at least like $20, $21, something like that. I almost bought a combo meal from McDonald's, Big Mac combo meal. This was about a month ago or so. And come to find out, just the combo meal, medium size, nothing crazy or anything like that. Just that one single combo meal, Big Mac, $20. It was like $20.15, something like that. Absolutely insane. So needless to say, I don't think I'm going to use DoorDash anymore. I don't think I've used it in like a year or so, and I don't think I ever will again. It's a miracle that company's even still in existence. I also heard somewhere, I know I'm getting off topic, but at least with DoorDash, apparently they finally became profitable, I think, in the year 2024. They've been around like 8 years or 9 years, something like that, and they've never turned a profit. Like, dude, you have no overhead. You have no inventory. I don't understand. You're just an app on a phone. I mean, how the hell are you generating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of revenue and you're still not profitable? But I don't know, whatever. Who knows? Maybe that's worthy of a video on its own. But anyway, this is it's a good list. Let me just go ahead and I'll just start from the top here. So cars from the 90s, they offer reliability and affordability with quality improvements in design and interiors. Popular models like the Toyota Camry and Mazda Miata still maintain their bulletproof reputation and high demand today. Old school classics like the Buick Regal and the Ford Taurus continue to impress with their longevity, affordable price, and reliable engines. Not so sure if they're exactly affordable, which you'll find out here in a few minutes, especially with regard to the Ford Taurus. So anyway, as technology evolves, it undoubtedly changes the whole world around us. One good example is the automotive industry, which has been a playground for tech companies and gurus for decades. This has led vehicles to become more assisted by features and driving aids, something we have seen a lot in recent years. But while newer cars are kitted out with the latest technology, some people simply prefer the feeling of driving an old school car. However, to have a car that is 30 or more years old and still runs daily, it needs to be reliable. Buying an older model from, say, the 1990s could seem risky at first, but it's something that can potentially save you a lot in the long run. The 90s automotive space improved a lot over the decade before it, mainly through better exterior design, interior comfort, efficiency, and more importantly, reliability. Car manufacturers tried to produce the most compelling products, but this era seems to host some timeless masterpieces that are yet to be topped. Here are 10 used cars from the 90s that have rock-solid reliability. And before I even start the list, there's one car I've always wanted this car. It's an early 1990s Honda CRX. It's like a little hatchback. I think it was kind of built off of the Honda Civic platform, I think, something like that. It looks somewhat similar to the Honda Civic hatchback, but not really. Very sporty looking. Absolutely love that car. I would wish that Honda would bring that back, but I don't think that I really want to wish that, because if you look for yourself, look at the new 2026 Honda Prelude. If you're a fan of Honda, especially from the 90s, look at the late 90s, early 2000s Honda Preludes, and look at the Prelude that they're coming out with now. It's a monstrosity. I think it's absolutely insane, ridiculous, clown world. Just like the Toyota Supra that they're coming out, or that they came out with, I think last couple of years. Absolutely stupid. It's just ridiculous. It's an abomination. So anyway, let's get started with the list. So the first one, item number 10, it is the 1988 to 1996 Buick Regal. The average used price is at $4,859. Our friends over at Hot Cars said that the Regal ranks among the best Buick cars ever made, although model years from the 1990s hardly ever get any recognition. According to information provided by Car Survey, the Regal wows its owners, as some examples have been reported to reach up to 400,000 miles. Many examples are seen to float around the internet above 200,000 miles, but they come with decent price tags too. The early 90s and even late 80s models can be seen online for around $5,000 depending on the spec. I swear, these cars look so comfortable. I bet those seats are probably just worn in just in all the right ways. You probably just sink right into the seat like you would in those old school Cadillacs. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a Buick Regal. My sister used to, I think her first car was a Buick, but I think it might have been a Regal. It's like a maroon like 94. Might have been a Regal. I don't think it was this car though, but I don't know. For all I know, it could have been. That was a long time ago. So I went on cars.com. I looked for the Buick Regal, and I found no matches. So I guess I could probably go over onto eBay, but cars.com let me search by that same year that I did, or that they had listed on this from 1988 to 1996. So for this one, I unfortunately wasn't able to really find anything. I guess I could probably just try eBay real quick. I mean, I know that there's other ones. There's Facebook Marketplace. There's, some other websites. What is it? Cars and Bids and Bring a Trailer. I mean, there's other ones like that, but I don't want to spend too much time looking, because there's 10 items on this list. Not that I looked for all 10. I think I brought up, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 items out of the 10. And you'll see the last 2 items, kind of silly to look them up, to be honest. I mean, that was the only thing that was disappointing about this list, was that the last 2 were kind of, a little too niche. So let's see. I wonder what I should look up for. Let's see. Maybe 1995 Buick Regal. Let's see. Regal. I don't want to get all crazy in the details. I just want to see if there's just any. I don't think we're going to find any, to be honest with you. eBay Motors. I mean, maybe. Yeah, here. Let me see if it'll actually let me do that. Let's see if it'll let me do. Let's see here. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've done eBay. eBay.com. Let me just see if I can just start here from scratch. If not, then oh no, you know what? Should have done that. Let's see, cars and trucks. Where did the cars and trucks go? Let me go back. They've changed the layout, man. It's changed a bit since I last been on here. Let's see here, cars and trucks. Here we go. Let's start here. Let's start with Buick. Let's start with the Regal. I missed it. Regal. No. Let me just do a local zip code here. Buick Regal. See, it's only going to show. Here we go. 1988 to what was it? 96? I want to say. What was it? 90? Yeah, 96. Year to 1996. Any distance. Oh, shit. 0 results. Oh, wait. No. Here we go. Drum roll. Whoa. $1,700? No, come on. There's got to be a catch here. 62,000 miles, $1,700 your best offer. Free local pickup. Damn, they only had 2. Yeah, they weren't kidding, man. Cars.com, they couldn't find any. But here on eBay, there's 2. 1992 Buick Regal GS 4-door sedan for $3,000. 162,000 miles. Even that sounds like a good deal. But what's going on with this one? It's got to have like a blown engine or something in it. There's got to be something going on with this thing for it to be this cheap. Hell, I would buy this. I mean, I'm sure that it's probably nowhere near where I live. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's the location. Anna, Illinois. Maybe. Vehicle history report, 28. I'm assuming that's out of 100. Report run date, auto check, blah, 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 62,000, automatic about. Okay, here we go. Looking for a reliable used car. This 1991 Buick Regal is original with a clean title and only 62,000 miles on it. The owner has had it for over 5 years, though it needs some work. Okay. All right. Well, how much work? It's still being used as a daily driver. The vehicle comes in a classic white color, making it a great addition to any car collection or someone looking for a project. Drives great, but does periodically. Okay. This is my grandma's car. So do not feel safe with her driving in it in case it does die. Okay, selling it as is will need work, dude. Your typing needs work. All right. Dude, why would you take screenshots of your phone when you could just upload the images themselves? That's so annoying. People do that on other car websites too. It runs and drives and will die periodically. We don't know what's wrong with it. Well, I have a feeling they do know what's wrong with it, which is why they're only selling it for $1,700 when it's got 62,000 miles on it. It's probably something involving a part that they probably can't find. Maybe the part's not made anymore. Who knows? Maybe you have to go out to the junkyard and just yank a part off. That's if you can find what's wrong with it. But, dude, take it to a mechanic. Tow it. Cost you like $100. Tow it to the mechanic. Have them look at it. They'll tell you what's wrong with it. And by the time you get it fixed, or when it's fixed, you could sell it for a hell of a lot more than $1,700 with that mileage. Dude, that mileage, I would expect you could probably get 6,000, 7,000 out of this thing. Probably even more than that. I mean, believe it or not, man, there's a lot of 90s enthusiasts out there, man, especially with the mileage that low. I mean, they could really, if they could get this thing back to pristine running condition, you'd hit a home run with this thing. But what does the undercarriage look like? Is it full of rust? It is up in Illinois. But, I mean, he says it's his grandma's car, so, I mean, have they ever changed the oil in it? I hope it's not something that ridiculous. I mean, that looks kind of dingy for 62,000. I mean, look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but that does not look like a 62,000 mile engine, in my opinion. But it is in Illinois, and it is a 91, so maybe it's never been garage kept, and maybe just over the years Oh, look at that. 11 viewed in the last 24 hours. Okay, all right. I'm not going to keep going on this one. But this one's actually $3,000. I guess the point is that you're going to have a hard time finding these things. I mean, as the top 10 article states, they're very reliable, so you might be kind of hard pressed to find them that come up on the market. I mean, obviously, just based on eBay, there's only 2 of them out there. Let's see here. History report. Let's see. Where's the... Oh, my God, I'm not reading all that. Meticulously maintained. Okay, that's good enough for me. I mean, they meticulously listed this article, or this listing, I mean. What? A very reliable muscle car. Buicks don't strike me as muscle cars, but all right, dude. Maybe it's the pinstripe. Maybe that's what makes it a muscle car. I mean, I don't know. Is it a V8? It's probably a V8. Or maybe a 6-cylinder. Maybe it's a 6-cylinder. Maybe it's a nice looking car. It's clean. It's a clean car. Looks good. Yeah. Actually looks really good. For only $3,000? Oh, come on, man. Why aren't you letting me do like a freaking slideshow? Well, I don't know. You get the gist of it. But damn, 78 photos? Holy cow, dude. Yeah, they really want this thing sold, don't they? 162,000 miles. Given its age, being at 1992, you know, that might be a little off-putting to see a mileage that high, but for a 92, that ain't bad at all. That's not bad at all. Especially in the way it looks, man. It looks absolutely great for a 92. I'd like to see what it looks like under the hood. Oh, wow, look at that. Exhaust manifold's a little rusty, but what ones aren't? That is clean, man. That looks really clean. Very nice. Very nice. Even the strut towers, look how nice those are. Nice and clean, shiny, very well taken care of. Looks great. Alternator looks great. Clean washer fluid. I guess it always be clean, but anyway, yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah, 6-cylinder. It's 6-cylinder. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. For $3,000, might have to bookmark that one. 92 Buick Regal. This is not the most attractive car out of the 1990s, but, you know, if you're looking for reliability, you got 2 right here to choose from, as long as you can get to wherever they're located. I didn't catch where this one was located, but I'm sure it's not anywhere near where I live. So anyway, back to the article. Actually, I'll just leave eBay open, but I don't think I'm going to need it again. I'll just go back down to the next one. So number 9, obviously it's going to be the Toyota Camry. In fact, if it were up to me, I would say either the Camry or the Corolla should be down there near number 2, maybe number 1. So anyway, Toyota has a bulletproof reputation, that's for damn sure, for building some of the most reliable cars you can buy today. And this was the case 30 years ago, too. Very hot in the 90s, the Toyota Camry was, and still is, a hot seller. Kelley Blue Book dictated that the Camry was the 5th best-selling vehicle on the planet as of last year. Yeah, when it comes to the Camry or the Toyota Corolla, yeah, the Toyota, they don't disappoint. They absolutely don't disappoint. So, Toyota. Those were found here on Cars.com, and they're not for that bad of a price, really. It says here the average price is $53.25, which I would say is probably pretty on par with what it's looking like on this listing of cars. $59.90, 134,000 miles, $229. Again, if it's over 200,000 miles, that's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as they have receipts of parts that have been changed, such as like the timing belt. I mean, obviously it's going to be good to know when that was changed last. And if they don't know, then if you buy the car, even if it's at 120,000 miles, if they don't have any proof of when the timing belt was changed, you might want to go get it changed right away. Because if that thing snaps, you're screwed. it's toast. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have to replace some parts, most likely, if it's over 200,000 miles. But as far as the engine goes, it's probably rock solid. Transmission, too. Probably rock solid. I mean, it's a Toyota, for crying out loud. Look at this one. 88,000 miles. 97 Toyota Camry V6. $10,000. Personally, I would probably rather go with the 4-cylinder. I mean, that's just me. But actually, there's really not that many on here. Only 4 matches. But if you go on eBay, I'm sure you can find a lot more. Or if you go on, like, Bring a Trailer, I don't know if you might find many of these on Bring a Trailer. You probably will. or on Facebook Marketplace would probably be another good one to go to, especially if you're seriously looking into buying a 90s car. I would do that because it's more local. So there it is, the Toyota Camry. Number 8 is the Mazda Miata from 1990 to 1997. The average used price is $10,759. I've looked these up fairly frequently locally in the Tampa Bay area, and they're generally not that expensive. You can get a pretty good one for like $5,000 or $6,000 from the 90s in this range specifically. So the Mazda Miata is renowned for its cute and zippy look from the 90s, boasting pop-up headlights, adequate engine selection, and nimble handling. Since then, the Miata formed a cult-like following, with many people still owning them today. This is most likely because the Miata was, and still is, a reliable and affordable alternative to a sports car. Used examples found on Edmunds range quite significantly, from miles, trim level, and even modifications done to the vehicle. An early-stage pop-up headlight Miata with 10,000 miles on the clock costs just shy of $20,000, while the other newer models with far more miles cost half of that. Oh, come on, they're going to cost a lot less than that. These powertrains have been reported to go well over 150,000 miles, a significant amount for a small budget sports car, and that is very true. There's a lot of Miatas, at least in my local Facebook Marketplace area. There's a lot of them for sale from the 90s. Some of them are in excellent shape. Other ones are pretty banged up. Honestly, I see a lot more guys driving these old 90s Miatas these days than women. But as I can recall, now I was a teenager. I'm a 1984 baby, so I was very young in the 90s. The early mid part of my teens. I was cruising through the end of the 90s at that point. But these, I believe, were more girls' cars than guys' cars back in the 90s. I mean, you didn't really see many men driving Miatas, but you do today. It's kind of funny how it flipped like that, but anyway. So we've got some listings on cars.com. Oh, no, we don't, do we? Nope. I guess I missed that one. But I'll just take this opportunity to just check eBay. As with the Buick, it was more reliable than cars.com. I figured a cars.com would have been better, but apparently not. And I don't want to use Facebook Marketplace because I can't remember which account I'm signed in on through Facebook. I never use Facebook. I only get on there once a year just to give thanks for my birthday wishes. That's the only time I get on Facebook. Let's see here. So let's go with Mazda. Let's see. Miata. There it is. Miata. Find vehicle. Why wouldn't it give me the year right away? Page 2. I guess I'll have to go with the year. So it was 1990, correct? I think it was 1990. 1990 to 1998? 97. Up to 97. So let's find some of these so that we can get an idea as to how much these things are costing. 39 results, not bad. Yeah, see, $6,000, 68,000 miles. Oh wait, no, that's not a Miata. That's a Mercury Capri. Must be a mix-up there. 96 Mazda MX-5 for 9,500, 14.8, 47,000 miles. Man, that's low. 1990 for 30 grand. Shit. 11K, 14K, 30. That one's an RX-7. Miata for 7,500, 14 watches. Damn, only 120,000 miles. 7,500 is not too bad. That's a pretty decent deal. $1,000. I'm sure that's a not a buy it now. I'm sure that's auction only, probably with a pretty decent reserve. 91 for 96. That's a ridiculous price. I cannot believe 15 people are watching that. That's hilarious. Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry. I didn't even pay attention. That's an RX-7. Kind of makes more sense with only 13,000 miles. RX-7s are like, some people are nuts for those cars. I'm not one of them. They look cool though. That one looks really cool. That would be a really cool car to cruise around in. Somebody in my neighborhood actually has an RX-7. They got a red one. It's not in that condition at all. It's kind of beat up. Some older guy drives it. Yeah, we're seeing more RX-7s than Miatas, really. But there's a 90 for 18,000, a ridiculous price. No, well, it just depends. Depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you want to buy one and drive it for the next 30 years and take meticulous care of it, that one's probably going to be a good one to go with. If you're willing to pay almost 20 grand for a car that's what, 35 years old. I mean, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't spend that much money on a Miata, but some people might. Yeah, they are actually they're a bit pricey, man. They are a bit pricey these days. And yeah, you just never know with this older used car market, man. They can go up overnight, especially with the threat of the tariffs and all that whatever nonsense that's going on. At least that's what companies like Nissan are blaming for the reason that they have to increase the cost or they have to lay off 20,000 people like they just did. So anyway, let's go down to number 7, 1995 to 2000 Lexus LS400. The average used price being $13,832. The luxury LS400 sedan has stood and passed the test of time, providing Camry-like reliability with a higher and more sporty build quality. Motor Biscuit pointed out that drivers are still seeking out this luxury sedan mainly due to its importance to the brand. Lexus wouldn't be Lexus today if the LS hadn't been so spectacularly good, per Edmunds. Edmunds has a variety of 90s models ranging from the late 90s with nearly 200,000 miles to slightly older but much less used models. There is a 96 Lexus LS400 for sale for just under 20 grand. There is no catch, though, as the car has only done 81,000 miles. All right, I guess. If you're crazy for these, maybe that is a fair price for you. As far as cars.com have it, I mean, they've got one here for 87,000 miles for 17. This one, $150K for 12. Seems a bit high, but it is a Lexus after all, even though it's a 99. 97 Lexus LS400, 169,000 miles for $4,500. It's not a bad deal. That's up in Fargo, North Dakota, so probably would want to check the undercarriage to see how rusty it is, just to see if it's a good, decent investment. But $4,500, it looks like it's sitting at the Toyota dealership. So I mean, I don't think they'd take it if it didn't run. So it probably runs at least 90K miles for 15. So yeah, decent. What was the number they were throwing out? 13.8. Yeah, probably about on par so far. 95 Lexus LS400 base, 11,200. They've got aftermarket rims on it, though. I mean, I know a lot of people with regard to getting a 90s car in the year 2025, a lot of people are preferring that they be bone stock and not gutted out by some, Fast and Furious junkie from back in the 2000s. So 96, 150K for 9,400. That one's 19.9, only 62,000 miles. That looks clean as hell. Probably garage kept. Probably why they're demanding as much as they are. 226,000 miles for only 1,200. Probably not running, but maybe it is. Boise, Idaho. Let's take a look at that one. For only $1,200. Come on, dude. What's the catch? I mean, cosmetically, it's in terrible shape, I'm sure. At the very least. 226,000 miles. Again, a Lexus. It is a Toyota, so 226,000 miles. That's like 100,000 miles for many other cars. Like a Nissan, like this. If this were a Nissan, it would be like 80,000 miles or some shit. Anyway, I don't know why this ain't coming up. Pictures aren't showing up. Let's see. Seller's info. Mechanic Special Local Trade-In, the 96 LS400. Luxury sedan known for a smooth ride, refined V8 engine, and exceptional build quality. Here are some key specs and details. Well, I don't care about the general details. I want to know what's wrong with it. There's something wrong with it. There's got to be something wrong with this car. Vehicle history, no accidents. It probably just needs a lot of parts changed out. That's probably what's going on with it. It might run. Might. I don't know. Might run. $1,200. Looks like it was sitting at a dealership. So anyway, that's the Lexus IS400. LS400, sorry, not IS. LS400. And we'll go on to number 6, the 1996 to 2000 Honda Civic. Obviously, that's going to be on the list. Honda Civics, they are extremely reliable from the 90s. I used to have one. I used to have a 1996 Honda Civic, also red, also two-door, stick shift, did not have a tachometer. Yeah, very nice car. Wasn't very fast, of course, but very reliable and never had any issues with it. Matter of fact, I actually drove it through floodwaters once, which is a really stupid-ass idea. But I was running late getting to work, and there was a nasty rainstorm happening in the downtown Tampa area over by Bayshore Boulevard. Anybody who's ever lived in this area or lived around, you may know that Bayshore Boulevard floods like crazy sometimes if we get enough rain. But yeah, I drove through some high water in that car, and the check engine light came on, but because I was driving a stick, I just kept revving it up to like, 4,000 RPMs as I didn't plow through it. I drove through it at like 15 miles an hour. But it started running a little rough, as you might imagine. But it survived. By the skin of its teeth, it barely survived. But yeah, within a few days, the check engine light turned off, and it just kind of worked itself out. So I actually got pretty lucky. Ended up taking a couple of 1,000-mile trips after that happened, as a matter of fact. So I don't even know. It was in hindsight, absolutely stupid-ass idea. But so anyway, let's read the description here. The Honda Civic, it has been a 4-door favorite, or an optional 2-door if you want to get the coupe, since 1972, as it provides a reliable and fun option for small or big families. Some models from the 90s can be spotted going for around $20,000, but $15,000 or so should still get you a pretty good model. Give Me the VIN praised the 90s Civic models, saying that Honda, quote, manufactured at a time when automakers put a lot of emphasis on quality, construction, and longevity. The Civic is satisfyingly reliable and fuel efficient, end quote. $17,000 sounds insane to me for a Honda Civic from the 90s. I would say $5,000, $6,000, given the mileage that you would expect from a Civic from the 90s. However, see, look at this, 109,000 miles. Let's round up to 110K miles, $9,000, 96 Civic. So it's kind of a far cry from 17,000. I think that's kind of a crazy price. That one's only got 58,000 miles, asking 13K. That car will run forever. I bet it'll run absolutely forever. I'm not sure. And here we are. It's in California. Yeah, it probably will run forever as long as they took decent care of it, which I'm sure they did. Yeah, that's in immaculate shape. 99 Civic, 120,000 miles, $5,500. $5,500. If you buy this car, assuming it was well kept, which it probably was, that car will easily give you another 20 years, probably even 30 years, as long as you keep it in good mechanical shape. Maintain it by the book. It's probably got the owner's manual in the glove box. It'll tell you how often to change the coolant, change out the power steering fluid, change out the spark plugs, the air filter, fuel filter, all the basics, the basic tune-up stuff. It'll last forever. $6,000, 134,000 miles. Like, all these are under 200,000 miles. It's actually really impressive. 44,000 for $6,000. There's got to be a catch here. What the hell is the catch with this? I'm just too curious to pass this one up, because I didn't actually dig into these. I just brought them up tab by tab. Right before I made my last video, but my last video went over like 45 minutes, so I decided to not get into the weeds with the top 10 list in the previous video, which is why I'm doing this one now. So let's see. Where did it go? Do they even have a description? So the basics. Okay, got the basics. We work per appointment. Please call and set up an appointment before coming in. Dude, you can't give us any information on this car. With the price that they're asking for it for $6,000 and a mileage that low, there has to be something going on with this car. Or maybe not. Look at that. It is 44,000. What is that? 878 miles? Yeah, it looks like 870. Yep, 878 miles. Look at that. And it's got a tachometer. See, the Civic I had didn't have a tachometer in it. Very nice. 44,000, $6,000. Where is this? Oh, Cleveland, Ohio. So if you live in the Ohio area, you got yourself a steal right here, provided that there's nothing wrong with this car. If it's in perfect mechanical shape, this is another car that you could drive for 20 years, 25 years. You'll never have a car payment for the next 2-3 decades. Imagine that. And I stand by that. As long as the original driver took decent care of it. I mean, granted, it is an automatic. I don't know a whole lot about automatics. I just know that manual transmissions are, like, as far as longevity is concerned, they tend to hold up better than automatics, because automatic transmissions, they're a bit more complicated and more expensive to work on. But there you have it. The Honda Civics, great prices. Certainly not $17,000. You could find one for a lot less than that with even a lot less mileage than I would have expected. So anyway, Let's go down here to the Ford Bronco, number 5, 1992 to 1996. The average used price is $22,122. That really wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I mean, you don't really, at least in this area, I don't really see Broncos very often, especially not in the 90s. I mean, you see the brand new ones, but you don't really see the old ones around very often. There was one Bronco that I saw a couple of years ago. It was a white Bronco. Isn't that the color OJ had? I can't exactly remember what color it was, but dude had a bumper sticker on his Bronco, and it said the juice is loose. And that would have been, maybe it was more than a couple of years ago. It was actually quite a few years ago. It was sometime recently after OJ got out of prison, after his memorabilia robbery debacle. He got out of prison after that, and I just happened to see that bumper sticker on some dude's like early 90s Bronco. So anyway, the new generation of the Ford Bronco presents a modernized design that still resembles the OG model. That being said, the new models are not the only variants you should be looking at, as the old models are still standing strong. Hot Cars praised the 90s Bronco, saying that its off-road prowess was complemented by the powerful and reliable engine. Auto Trader Classic has some very fresh examples of the 1990 Bronco, the best one being a 1990 simple Bronco with just over 10,000 miles on the clock, all for $28,000. Other models on the page have clocked over 130,000 miles, very impressive from an early day off-roader. Now, if they get that thing sold for $28,000, they might be able to sell it for as much as they paid for when it was new, adjusted for inflation, probably. I'm just guessing on that, but I'm sure that they're probably going to, when you adjust for inflation, I'm sure they didn't pay anywhere near $28,000 for it back in 1990. They probably paid, I don't know what, like 12, 13. I honestly have no clue. Maybe $15,000, something like that. So when you adjust for inflation, they might actually get their money back out of that. Despite the fact that they had probably garage kept it for 35 years. So anyway, let's go on to number 4, the 1990 to 97 Toyota Land Cruiser. The average used price sitting at $26,853. I don't think that I went with that one, did I? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, I got a couple examples here, and it seems to kind of hold up. 140K miles for $32,000. 180K miles for $18,000. That's in Louisiana. That one's not a Land Cruiser. There's not really that many. Here's a 95 for $48,000. It's like what is that? Like a custom truck bed kind of deal they got going on there? I don't even know. Land Cruiser base. Toyota Land Cruiser base 95 for $63,000. Insane. Absolutely insane. 95 Land Cruiser, $32K. Yeah, so they're a lot more expensive than I would have thought they'd be. So Toyota Tacoma short bed. They want only $10,000 for that. No, I mean, I'm sure they're probably built just about as strong as the Land Cruiser, 24K. So yeah, they are expensive. They're not cheap, no doubt about that. So obviously this is a 90s vehicle that is extremely high in demand for them to be commanding that kind of price for it. This one's 275,000 miles, which again, for a Toyota, not necessarily the highest mileage out there. And they only want $5,000 for it. And they might only want $5,000 because of the mileage. It might be in otherwise perfectly running condition. Where was that one at? In North Carolina? I don't know where they said that was. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, North Carolina. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Toyota Land Cruiser. And let's read the description on that. While the Land Cruiser has a lot of things in common with many of the entries on this list, it is not easy at all to find a used 90s model. Well, not for a bargain basement price, that's for damn sure. The model is sought after even today, but a new model will set you back somewhere in the vicinity of $55,000 at a dealership, with many examples going way over that. The reliability reputation of the brand says it all, with the Land Cruiser being remarked as one of the most reliable sports utility vehicles ever made. A 1990 example with relatively low miles will cost an average of $26,853 according to Classic.com, while newer models in the era get cheaper as you approach the end of the century. And let's move on to the Ford Taurus, the 1990 Ford Taurus, $41,000. Could you imagine paying $40,000 for a Ford Taurus? I mean, this one looks clean, showroom condition, absolutely gleaming, sure. $41,000 though, I don't know about all that. But anyway, so we'll have a look at this. The Ford Taurus was equipped with an impressive and reliable engine from the beginning. Later models were introduced with a 3.4-liter V8 engine that, despite only producing 234 horsepower, was said to be ultra reliable by owners online. Despite being somewhat rare, a Ford Taurus can be found online for less than $5,000, making it an appealing option for those looking for a classic American sedan. The model in question has nearly 190,000 miles. Now, this one I was not able to find. I don't think I was able to find any, at least on cars.com. But again, while I got this up, let me just see if I can have another look. And we will try to see if there might be at least one on here. There could be one, possibly one. Because it's not a range of mile or of years. It's only a single year that they're describing in the article. So that's why I'm saying that it may not be the easiest vehicle to find on the internet, but we'll see if we can find it. Ford Taurus. Damn, they make a lot of different models. Here we go. Taurus. We'll go with that. Just stick with local and any distance, so basically nationwide. So we'll go for 1990 to 1990, and we'll see. Is it going to be 0 results? Yeah, we're not going to see any results. I'm just going to widen up the... Yeah, we're not going to find any from 1990. That's a bummer. There's only one. From 1990 to 1995, it's a 95 Ford Taurus. 59,000 miles for 11 grand. 12 people watching it. I mean, if Ford's your thing, it's clean. Looks clean. Nice looking car. Looks like it's here in Florida. Maybe in California. Is it in Florida? I didn't even check. Yeah, that's probably here. Yeah, that's well, I guess it could be in one of the Gulf states, like maybe in Louisiana or something, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, nice, not bad. Not bad. And yeah, not a scratch on it, man. It's actually in some really good shape. Really good shape. I was hoping to see if I can get an engine picture of the... Yeah, there we go. Wow, that's clean. That is really clean. Yeah, looking good. 10,900. Very rare, 59,000 miles. I mean, that's a hell of a lot cheaper than what they had mentioned the 1994 for 41 grand. I mean, look, maybe the 1990 is especially rare. I mean, that's why I was hoping to find a 1990, which is why I didn't have it listed in the cars.com tabs above, because I just couldn't find one on there, and they don't have one on eBay either. So yeah, if you can get your hands on a 1990 Ford Taurus, especially with decent mileage, then you probably got yourself a diamond in the rough. You might be able to command any price you want for it. If you take it over to either eBay or some of the other, whether if it's an auction site or car site, or if you want to just privately list it locally, you probably get a hell of a good penny out of it. If you got the right person who's looking to buy one, I just cannot imagine spending that much money on a 90s Ford. But even though 90s Fords, they're very reliable, they're very solid. I still see them on the road all the time. Even like the early mid Ford Mustangs, early mid 90s Ford Mustangs, even like from the 80s, I still see those Mustangs driving around. Maybe not every single day, but I've seen them very often just driving around, and I'm sure they're their daily drivers. I doubt they're only cruising around on Sundays. So anyway, going down to number 2 is the 1992 to 1995 Dodge Viper. I think this vehicle is a bit silly to be putting on this list because we're talking reliability, dependability. This isn't really exactly the car you would expect to be on a list of other vehicles that are widely known to be daily drivers. This car is not a daily driver, which is why I think it's stupid that they put it on the list, but whatever. It's on the list, and it's number 2. So I'll go through it. $49,582, probably, if not more than that. The Dodge Viper is one of the most overlooked American classic performance cars on the market. Debuted in 1992, the Viper offers an insanely raw driving experience, aided mainly by the naturally aspired 8.0-liter V10 engine While the engine is huge, it only provides 400 horsepower in its earliest forms, which is still good for the 90s. That would mean that, on paper, this engine should be reliably long-term, and Edmunds agrees. They gave it a close to perfect reliability score of a 4.8 out of 5 and an overall quality score of 4.6 out of 5. Now, I remember when I was a kid, and it probably would have been around 1992, there used to be a show called Viper, wasn't there? I remember, and the car changed colors. It changed from like red to like gray or something like that. And it was like some sci-fi show. 1994, Viper TV series. Yeah, that was it. I don't know if they got any pictures of the car or not. My stupid computer is running freaking slow as hell. I don't know why this computer runs so slow. I got solid state memory in it. And I actually got around to plugging the Ethernet cable directly into the internet. And because there for a while I was using a Wi-Fi stick for this computer. Yep, that's the show. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I just remember being a kid, 10 years old at the time. I just remember it going on TV. It just happened to be on TV at like prime time, 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. So, but anyway, I remember that car being freaking awesome back then. So needless to say, this car probably gave Dodge a lot of clout. It did only get a 5.8 out of 10, so it's not going to be one of the best TV shows that you've ever seen. But I guess if you want to look up a 90s sci-fi movie, but a TV series, I'm sure you're going to be kind of hard pressed to find it. Well, on Just Watch, maybe it is on one of those streaming sites. Maybe it's over on like Amazon Prime or Netflix or something. I mean, maybe. I don't think I'd watch it. Every time that I see that car, it reminds me of that show because it just happened to be on when I was a smaller kid. And let's go down to number 1. The final one is the 1994 to 1998 Porsche 911, a 993. Not the car that I would also include on the list. Certainly not number 1. If it were me putting this list together, and if I were to choose between all the cars on this list, I'd say probably the Toyota Camry should be number 1 because it's extremely reliable. It's extremely affordable. Even today, it's still a pretty affordable car. I probably would put the Honda Civic at number 2. But anyway, I'll go by their list. This is their list, not mine. The old school Porsche market is saturated with expensive, sought-after examples. That's why getting a 90s 911 is a game of roulette. According to Road and Track, the 993 911 can be found for under $60,000 on a good day. They also stated, you get more performance, that rear engine driving experience, and that classic silhouette, all on the cheap. The cheapest 993 model on Hemmings.com is a 95 example with over 147,700 miles on the clock for just under $50,000. The older alternatives are somewhat cheaper, but the 1995, 1997 models are the most sought after ones. It looks nice. I mean, no doubt about it. It's a very nice, sexy looking car. Not really, in my opinion, daily driving status. Not that this list is strictly for daily drivers. It's not. They're just going off of, the title being the 10 used cars from the 90s that have rock solid reliability. So, maybe it does make perfect sense that those two cars are at the number 1 and number 2 spots. But anyway, that's basically all I got. Just figured I would go down that list and show some of the cars that they stood the test of time. They're still around to this day. I mean, I still see Camrys driving around. I still see Corollas driving around, Honda Civics. I mean, there's still 90s cars all over the road, especially down here because we don't have rust for the most part. Contrary to popular belief, we still do get rust problems here. Even my car had some rust going on a couple of years ago, and I watched some DIY videos on YouTube, getting like Bondo and resin and getting the those like resin sheets, the resin fiber mat, whatever they call it, fiberglass mat. That's what it was called, fiberglass mat. But yeah, I had some rusting happening on the roof of the car, so I buffed it all out, sanded it out, and I went through the steps and I got rid of the rust, and now there's no rust on my car. But yeah, in my car, it's never left the state of Florida as far as I know. My current car, my 99 Mirage, I don't think it's ever left the state of Florida unless the original owner took it somewhere. But Yeah, it was purchased brand new here in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, and is still here now. Almost 27 years later. Next month, June 1998 was when it was manufactured, my car. So, but anyway, I'll quit rambling. That's all I got for now, so see you later.